said Ben. "Yes, I saved your life," said the dragon quickly. "What are you going to do to me?" Ben was confused. "What do you mean?" he asked. "You mean you're not going to hurt me?" asked the dragon. Ben shook his head. The dragon relaxed and let out a big breath. He stepped backward and fell into the hole. Ben jumped. He heard him land with a great thunk at the bottom of the hole. He was quite sure he heard several things fall down. "I'm all right," the dragon called up. Suspicious, Ben pulled a flashlight out of his backpack. He stepped into the cave. The first step was steeper than he had thought. He thought that soon he would see the dragon at the end of the cave, but it just kept going, until he reached a large, round room. And instead of being smelly and dirty, as Ben had expected, it was quite clean and organized. There was a huge rock covered with leaves and pine needles on the side, and on the other was a pile of wood and a shallow pit that looked perfect for a fire. From the ceiling hung a root with a few large pieces of meat on it, and sitting on the rock was the dragon, looking at Ben curiously. "I thought you had left," he said in a voice that wasn't at all threatening. "You live here?" said Ben. "Mm-hmm," said the dragon. "Do you like it?" Then Ben said, "It's nice. When did you find this place?" "Find it? I dug it." "You dug it? By yourself?" asked Ben. "Yep, took me about 2 weeks," the dragon replied. "An entire cave dug in 2 weeks?" Ben thought. "How did he do that?" "Well, he does have pretty big claws." He eyed the pearly white claws on the dragon's feet. They were pretty big. For a fleeting moment, Ben felt afraid again. But then he remembered what the dragon had done for him. "Why did you... well, you know," Ben said. "Rescue you?" asked the dragon. He lay down. "Well, I couldn't bear to see a small, helpless creature just die. It wouldn't be right," he said. "Well, I thank you very much," said Ben. The dragon smiled. He yawned a big yawn and laid his head down. "You're welcome," he said. "My name's Ben. What's your name?" asked Ben. "Well, I don't usually talk with humans, but a long time ago someone visited me a couple of times. He called me Michelangelo. I don't know why," replied the dragon. "Then I'll call you Michelangelo," said Ben. "All right," said the dragon. "Michelangelo, are you hungry?" "Wouldn't hurt to have a little food," said Ben. Michelangelo grabbed some meat off the root of the roof and cooked it in one fiery breath, and gave Ben a small potion. It was juicy, flavorful, and very good. "That was good. What was that?" said Ben. "It was the meat from a bear," said Michelangelo.
No!
Ben had to admit he had never had bear before, and he thanked him for the delicious morsel. "So, how long have you lived here?" asked Ben. 30 or 40 years, Michelangelo said. 40 years? That was a long time to live in one place. "I'm guessing you have never seen a dragon before, judging by the way you reacted to me," said Michelangelo. Ben nodded. "Please don't believe the horrible lies that humans tell about dragons. They found things that were ours and took them without even noticing us. And whenever we drove them away or tried to get them back, someone always attacked." Ben thought this was an interesting insight. He counted 5 or 6 fairy tales that were exactly the same situation as Michelangelo described. He always thought dragons were evil, up till now. "Well," said Ben, looking at his watch, "I think I ought to be going now, or I'll be awfully late in coming home." The dragon closed his eyes. "All right, I think it's time I take a nap." Michelangelo curled up and yawned. "Goodbye, little one," he said. "Goodbye," Ben replied. Ben walked back to the gate. It was already 5:30, and he was to be home in time for dinner. He walked home with a smile on his face. He didn't get to do any of the things he had planned, but that was fine. He had met a future friend, and he thought that there was nothing better than that.